Welcome to Days at Dogwood Canyon, a nature podcast brought to you by Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center in Cedar Hill, Texas. This is a podcast that will take you into our 200-acre wildlife preserve in the heart of the DFW Metroplex. Take a quick weekly break with us and get outside with the fresh air, the trees, and of course, the birds. My name is Kirsten and I'm Center Coordinator Community Programs here at Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center. Welcome listeners to our Days at Dogwood Canyon podcast. This is a podcast about nature, birds, plants, and us. We will talk about how we all rely on each other to live our best lives. The weather is getting cooler, and our winter residents are settling in at Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center. One of my favorite winter residents is the Ruby-crown Kinglet. This is a very small songbird, measuring between 3 to 5 inches, and on average, they measure about 4 1/4 inches in length. And they weigh in at about 6 grams. If you're able to catch a glimpse of this diminutive bird, you'll see mostly gray and olive colors. The top of the head, nape of the neck, and the upper back are a dark gray. The underparts are a buff olive color, while the upper tail and wings are olive colored. They have a bright white eye ring that draws attention to the dark eyes. The beak is small, but is good for picking up all sorts of food items. These birds have a hidden surprise on the crown of their head, although their name does give the secret away. The name Ruby-crown Kinglet comes from the pop of red feathers that can be laid flat against the top of the head or raised up when they're excited. You can sometimes see a hint of the red when the feathers are relaxed, but not always. In spring and summer, they are found from Alaska east across Canada to Newfoundland, south to California, and to New Mexico. You may also find them from the Great Lakes region to northern New England. They spend winter from southern British Columbia and California down to Mexico and across the lower states across to southern New England. And that includes Texas. They eat insects such as aphids. Yay, anything that eats aphids is a friend of mine. And small caterpillars. They'll eat insect eggs, fruits, and seeds. Of course, in the wintertime, insects are hard to come by. They'll mainly focus on fruits and seeds in the wintertime, and if they happen to come across a clutch of insect eggs, they will take advantage. So these birds are called gleaners, which means they will hover over branches or tree trunks looking for insects that they seek. They prefer coniferous and deciduous forests, which makes Dogwood Canyon Audubon a great place to hang out. And they are known for migrating in large flocks where you may encounter hundreds of kinglets in a single day. I can't imagine. I've never actually seen a group of migrating kinglets, but that's got to be pretty fun. During breeding season, the female can lay from 4 to 11 eggs in one clutch. Now remember, she's like 4 1/4 inches and she's laying 11 eggs. Shoot, that's a whole lot of work. She will do the majority of the incubation for about 12 to 14 days. Once the eggs hatch, the male and female will feed and protect the chicks until they're ready to fledge. I hope so. Both parents are going to have to chip in with 11 mouths to feed. Ruby-crown kinglets used to be classified in the same family as other kinglets, but with new DNA testing, scientists have discovered they are not as closely related to other kinglets as first thought. Physical differences and behavioral differences, as well as that DNA, have encouraged scientists to reclassify them into their own genus, separated from other kinglets. A group of birds is always called a flock. But sometimes people create other names for groups of birds, especially when they have a fun name like kinglet. So a flock of kinglets is also known as a castle, a court, a princedom, or a dynasty. Most birders just stick with a flock, but if you're feeling flamboyant that day. Where can you see these little beauties at Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center? You have a good chance of seeing them at our indoor canyon view area with help from our spotting scope, or if you bring binoculars, or you could borrow binoculars. They do not come to the seed feeders, but they are attracted by the other birds that feed there. They want to know what's going on. You can also catch a glimpse of them on our canyon floor trail, and if you don't see them, you will surely hear them. If you hear this call, or this song, then stop and scan the branches for a small, quick motion, and you might catch a glimpse of this royal visitor. All right, listeners, I hope to see all of you out at Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center this winter looking for the Ruby-crown Kinglet. Birdsong was provided by National Audubon Society Birdsong Collection, Lang Elliott Music of Nature.